My name is Ashley Collins. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Breakup Diaries. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being present. There's tons of content to be looking at right now on the internet with the YouTube and the podcast. And you chose to look at this one. Thank you so much. I am so pumped because I have not done a long form content video in like 2 months, which is not like me. I try to do it like once a week, but I've just been so busy with work. And I've also been kind of like in a little creative funk where it's like, okay, I've revealed all my trauma and I have nothing else bad to talk about, which is so weird, which is so stupid. Like, I shouldn't be looking forward to talking about sad things. I want to talk about uplifting things. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You're probably here because of the title, because you're offended about something, and I'm so happy that you're here regardless. Thank you for being here. Like I kind of sort of said, I create daily content on my Instagram, so feel free to check me out. You know, give me a look, give me a follow, give me a little heart. My Instagram is the Aunt of Dragons. Game of Thrones starts this week. I mean, if you're watching this in present time, I think it starts this week, next week, or maybe it's already over already. Anyway, thank you for viewing. Or you can add me on Twitter, which is the Aunt of Dragon. I post pretty frequently-ish on Twitter, but still at the same time daily. Or you can add me on Facebook. I have not been on Facebook in like a month. So you can still follow me though. Ashley Collins. I will friend request you back eventually. I don't know. Just Facebook. Just the word coming out my mouth is like, ugh, you know? Okay, anyway. So this is going to get a little heavy. I've been wanting to talk about this subject for months. I swear to God, months. But I just never felt prepared. And I think I was trying to do too much research on the topic. And this morning I was like, try to talk about your personal experience. And I was a little nervous to talk about it because I don't know what I'm allowed to say without getting my mom in trouble. But I mean, which child service is going to come after for her now? You know, it's like, it's too late now. I'm an adult now. Okay, so let's get heavy and talk about, does spanking benefit your child in any way? Are there any long-term effects of spanking as opposed to the short-term benefits of spanking your child? So I've been spanked twice in my life, and I remember them both very vividly. Let me just preface this, and I probably shouldn't I'm trying to, whatever. Let me preface this by saying that my mom is the sweetest person you'll ever meet in your whole entire life. I know that if you're a follower of mine, you're thinking, no, there's no way she's sweeter than me. But she is. She's so kind, and she's so gentle. She very rarely raises her voice, and but she was a single mother of 4. So, and she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So, throughout childhood, so she would have random fits of rage out of nowhere. So yeah, I was hit twice in my life, and I remember them both very vividly, which is so frustrating because it's like there were so many good moments with my mother, but these two are still ingrained in the back of my mind. Let me describe it to you. So once, my brother and I, we prank called the police. Yeah, we just hit 911, and we didn't think that they would answer. For some stupid reason, we didn't think that they would answer. So we called them, and someone picked up the phone. 911, what's your emergency? We hung up the phone immediately. We didn't talk to them. And then so the police came to our door, and they talked to my mom. Is everything okay? Blah blah blah. And when they left, she became infuriated. She was so pissed off. And I grew up in the 90s, so there was not a lot of plastic used in my household. So what she did was she grabbed the fly swatter. It was like the fly swatter was like metal. It was like metal metallic, and it's so crazy how I still remember what it looks like. It was white, and it had the swatter thing was yellow, and she was chasing me and my brother around the house, and I like pushed him out the way, and I ran on the couch, and she started hitting me on the legs, and she started hitting me, and she started yelling at me, and I still have a little bit of the scars in my leg. They've faded a little bit, but I remember thinking to myself, not that it hurts. I remember thinking to myself, this is going to leave a scar, and I'm very pissed off. I was very mad because I'm like, fuck, this is going to leave a scar on my legs now. I was in elementary school when this happened, and that's so stupid that I thought about that. And another thing that I thought was, how could you do this to me. I love you and I trust you and you're my favorite human being in the whole entire world. And you just hit me. You just hit me. I don't know why it's such a emotional response to that still to this day. I'm fucking 30 years old and why is it still bothering me so much? So yeah, give me a second to digress that. Sorry. Okay, so if you do not know me, I do teach dance classes. I teach dance classes, modeling classes, acting classes. I've been doing that for as a side gig, as a side hustle, as opposed to my full-time jobs. I've been doing that for like 7 years now, and I have really great manageable kids, and then I have some kids where you're just like, oh God, I really don't want to show up to work. Like, can I just call out? But you can't call out when you're the only teacher, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure if I should share this story or not for fear of getting fired, but I was talking to a friend about it last night, and she's like, you have to use this example. So of course I'm not going to say any names. If I get fired as a result of this, I don't give a fuck. I'll find another job. I have this one student in my dance class, and she is so difficult. And we play a game in my dance class called Good Day, Bad Day. I stole this from a teacher when I'm back at home, where we sit around in a circle while we're stretching and tell me something good that happened to your day. And sometimes it's really hard for the kids for some reason, but I'm just trying to instill in their mind gratitude. So I'm kind of like brainwashing them in a way. So if they can't find something good that happened, I ask them, did you wake up this morning? And they're like, yes. That's your good day. Sounds cheesy, I know. I'm a cheesy teacher. And then on the bad day, tell me what happened on your bad day and what did you learn from that? So teaching the lessons with the bad, kind of brainwashing in a good way. I have this one student who it's always something violent that happened in her day. It's always someone that tried her and she tried them back. And I ask her, what did you learn? And she always says something like, if someone tries me, I'm going to try them back. If someone gets in my face, I'm going to get back at them. And this past week, she got in a fight. And I asked her, what did you learn from being in that fight? And she said that if someone hits me, I'm going to hit them back faster. And I was like, who is teaching you to respond through violence? Why couldn't you have just gone to the adult? And I think it's interesting that as adults, we're teaching our children that violence is the answer to all of your problems. To all of your problems, react first instantly and then regret it later. You know, and I think that we should be stopping that cycle. So getting back to the now that we have some context to why this subject is kind of terrifying me, because I'm witnessing this. I'm witnessing the future, and I'm witnessing the fact that this violence is never going to end because we're still teaching it. Okay, so I have some notes. 1, 2. Okay, let's keep going. So studies have shown that spanking slows the development of the child's brain. I think that if you feel the need, I'm sorry for the train in the background. I don't know why every single fucking day I choose to record during this time and the train always comes. Back on subject. I don't know why that you think that as an adult, as this towering over 150 pounds adult, you think that you have to put your hands on this little teeny tiny human being who probably weighs what? 50 pounds, less than that. I don't know what children weigh. I don't know. 20 pounds. I don't know. You feel that I don't know how to use my words right now. So in order for me to get my point across to you, I have to put my hands on you. In order to teach you that this is bad, I need to put my hands on you as opposed to vocalizing what the problem is. You're not using your words. And I use this all the time in my classes. Use your words. What's wrong? What I also do in my classes is if they do something bad, which in my classes, I do not tolerate bullying. 100%. I don't care if you're the best dancer in the class, you're sitting out. Because I don't tolerate it. I don't put up with it. I was bullied, you know? And, yeah, I'm all about like playfulness, like playful teasing, but it's different when you're like that you're stupid, you're being stupid. I don't tolerate that, you know? What was I just saying? Sorry, I'm getting a little riled up here. Sorry. As opposed to raising your words, why don't you improve your argument? As opposed to using physical force, why don't you describe to them what they did wrong? But not as like you were a teeny tiny ant and I need to explain to you because your brain isn't fully developed yet. No, talking from one human being to the other, talking from one human being who may not understand. So it's your job to teach them to understand. You know? One thing that I do in my classes is I ask, why did you feel the need to push her? And I see their brain thinking. I see them thinking, and I don't rush it. I ask them, why did you hit her? And they'll be like, I don't know. And I'm like, do you think that it would be okay if she hit you? And she said, no. And I said, don't do something to someone that you wouldn't want done to you. Also, studies have shown that spanking leads to higher criminal activity. Also, it leads to your chances of getting anxiety and depression later on in adulthood. And I'm sure that you're already rolling your eyes right now. You're like, there's no way that spanking leads to depression and anxiety and suicide, but it does. I mean, you can type in anything right now on the internet. I don't need to vocalize it to you because you have a phone right now. You have technology right now. You can just look at these people who are in jail, these people who have severe anxiety. Ask them what happened in your childhood that made you the way that you are, and like the dots start to connect forward. What else? When you teach your child at a young age that when you do something bad, I'm going to punish you with physical force, they're going to later on in life treat other children like that on the playground, and they're also going to later on in life beat their spouse or their partners. Partner, spouse is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you're teaching them that you did something that I do not like, so I need to teach you to not do it again through violence. What else? Oh, my God, I saw this the other day. 30% of 1-year-olds have been spanked in the last month. I'm going to say that again. 30% of 1-year-olds have been spanked in the last month. So this little teeny tiny toddler who can barely even walk, who can barely form a full sentence, is being spanked for something that they aren't aware is right or wrong. It's our job to teach them what's right or wrong. What else? I was thinking about this crazy thought. So if you beat on an animal rights activists will fucking come out of the fucking walls, right? They're like, you can't do that to an animal. They have rights, blah, 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 right? If you hit on a woman, right, you'll have people irate, right? You'll be like, you can't hit on a woman. We're defenseless creatures, blah, 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 right? But if you hit on a child, what is your first reaction? If you see a child having a tantrum in Walmart and their parent hits them, what is your reaction? Be honest. Your reaction is, what did they do wrong? Or your reaction is, good for them, teaching them discipline at a young age, right? Right? You're thinking that. You're thinking that like, oh, they probably did something wrong to earn being hit. Or maybe you're thinking that, yeah. Because that was my first reaction for a very long time. A kid having a tantrum at Chili's while we're fucking eating, I'm like, you need to spank them in the mouth because they need to shut up. Right? Like, let's just get, I just thought that was very interesting how, I feel like I'm yelling at the camera. Sorry. Fuck, this is already 13 minutes. Sorry. Thank you for tuning in if you're still watching. There's no reward for staying till the end. But thank you for tuning in. It's just crazy how we care about women's rights. We care about animal rights. But this little toddler, it's like, yeah, they probably deserve to be beaten. That's crazy. That's insane to me. I also think that I am aware, because I do not have any kids, I do not have any children. I'm very aware of how hard it is to raise a child. My brother has kids. My best friend has 5 kids, and they're always talking about how stressed they are. I mean, like, not just them, like in general, like hearing it from people who have kids, that they're saying how stressed that they are. But I think that some parents use hitting their child as a stress reliever. And that's not good, because you need to find alternative ways to deal with your stress and not taking it out on your child. Because they're going to remember that later on in life, like I did. How I just had this huge visceral reaction to something that happened, 25 years ago? 24 years ago? And I'm still holding this resentment. Because I don't know why we think that we need to teach our children to fear us. We need to teach our children to fear adults. Because, and no wonder they don't want to grow up to be adults. Because they see us, it's like the Peter Pan theory, right? Peter Pan does not want to grow up because he does not want to be like Captain Hook, because Captain Hook is scary and he has a fucking hook, you know? And we're teaching our children that as an adult, it's stressful. You can drink and party and have fun, but it's like stress. And now the kids have a mindset that I don't want to be an adult because I don't want to be like mommy who's angry all the time and who has emotional outbursts all the time, you know? What else? Hit a kid, you ask what did they do wrong? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I write like little like what's the word I'm looking for? Like Morse codes kind of things to myself. Like I don't write full sentences. I just write little highlights, and then I'm like, oh, you'll know what that means, Ashley. But sometimes I don't know what that means. You're teaching them that the solution to every problem is violence. You're teaching your kid that the solution to all their problems is through violence. Just like how I was talking about my student in my class who, I don't know why, but I just can't stop thinking about her. I'm just really worried about her. But I just know that, like, what can I do? What can I do? I can pull the parent to the side and I can talk to her about it, but she'll be like, you don't know my life. You don't know my child. Da, 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 da. And it's like, okay, but your child is not your property. Your child is not your ownership. And your child is going to eventually grow up to be an adult who has a hard time making friends because of their attitude problem. And that's another thing. Like, why do people want their children to be difficult? Why do you want your child to be so unmanageable that it stresses the teacher out? Because I don't want your child in my class. And sorry to be so blunt and so crass, but I look forward to when your child misses class because I know that I will have a good class because your child is not there. Why would you want your child to have that kind of reputation? I don't know. I was just thinking about that, and it's like, we'll get to that in the end. Do you want to raise a child that is unpleasant? Oh, I already skipped to that part already. You're also teaching your child that the only way to get respect is through fear, which shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way that the only way to get you to respect me as a boss, as a manager, is for you to fear me. For you to be like, they have the potential to fire me. They have the potential to ruin my life, so I need to respect them. But it's not how it should be. It should be that you should want to work with someone who cares about you. You should want to be with someone who is compassionate and who is kind and who you aren't intimidated by. What else? We need to increase our emotional intelligence. People who were beaten or spanked as child lack emotional intelligence. So what does that mean? What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is basically empathy. When you see, yesterday, so funny, I was driving in the car and I rolled down the window and I threw out my cough drop wrapper. And I was like, stop the car. and I went back and I picked it up. That's emotional intelligence. Being aware that, being able to read things in a way and grasp things in a way that's not so dismissive, you know? Effects of yelling. Oh, huge study, really important. I can't believe how long this video is turning out to be. Fuck, I'm gonna hate editing this. So when you yell when we're talking about abuse, and I don't like to use that word because I know that word is it has a bit of a stigma to it, but when we're talking about abuse, we're not only talking about physical, but we're also talking about verbal. The things that you say to your child matters because they're going to remember that. It's going to be ingrained in their mind. When you call them stupid, it doesn't matter that how many times that you say that you love them. They're going to remember that one time that you called them stupid. When you call them fat, they're going to remember that one time that you called them fat, and their mind is going to say, we need to prove that fact right, you know? When you yell at them, you're fucking up their fight or flight response. So, you know, we are animals. You know what I'm saying? We see danger and we run the other way, or we run towards it in order to save someone, right? Which is why some people make really good cops or really good firemen or really good servicemen, you know, because their fight or flight, as opposed to running away, they want to run towards it. When you yell at your kid, they're confused because their mind says that there is danger. So I either need to attack or I need to run away. And it's not teaching them to confront their problems in a progressive way. I thought that was a really cool theory. Fun facts for you. We're going to talk about that at the end. I should really put these all together. Okay, I think we are towards the end. We are at the end. Yay, we're at the end. We made it. So now you're thinking that, okay, you've spit a lot of opinions, Ashley. So what can I do to discipline my child? Because I'm having a really hard time. Thank you for asking. I'm glad that you asked, even though my hair is a wild mess. I feel like this part of my chest is like super shiny. I don't know why. First of all, side note, I just got a new bra. Thanks for fucking noticing. That's so fucking stupid. Because, like, I've been wearing, like, the same 5 bras for the past 2 years, and I was thinking to myself, my back hurts. My back really fucking hurts. I'm like, because you need a new bra, idiot. So I went and bought a new bra. I hope you like it. I think it's super cute. I love the army fatigue. I also have 2 other new bras. It was a special. I know I'm poor, but it was on special at Victoria's Secret. It was buy one, get one, and it was another bra for $25. So treat myself to not having back problems later on in life. What are some solutions that I can do to help discipline my child without having to get the government involved? Because when the government gets involved, it gets nasty, it gets tricky, and we don't want the government saying how to raise your child. You know, because that's when, like, you know, worst case scenario, I'm thinking of like a Hunger Games-ish situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some things that we should be able to deal with on our own without the government having to stick their hand into it, you know? So one way is kids want structure. They want you to tell them what is A, B, C, and D, you know? And it's okay to explain to them why. So give them that structure. They're looking to you, for example. Give them cause and effect. If you do this, this is going to happen. Or if you do this, this will happen. Vocalize that to them. Patient. Be patient. And I know you're thinking that I have 20 different things to do with work and bills, etc., 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 but you shouldn't rush. You shouldn't rush your child's development because you're stressed. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. We have the internet now. You know, we have the internet, and it's such a great time to be alive right now, where you can ask, if you don't have a family member to ask for, ask a friend, reach out on the internet and see, like, if you can hire a babysitter who is trained in something specifically like this. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of therapy, but not therapy as in shoving pills down your kids' throats. Sorry if you're thinking I'm trying to stigmatize, taking prescription medication. I'm not trying to stigmatize it, but there's also research being shown. There's adults real life right now who have long-term effects of taking medicine since they were 5 years old. It does have really bad effects on the brain. So nothing wrong with going to therapy. What else did I put? Incentives matter. So so when you say that if you do this, I'm going to take away this, but it has to matter to them. You know, a huge example that I think of right now is, if you do this, I'm going to take away your cell phone. If you do this, I'm going to take away your iPad. And it matters to them. If you do this, I'm going to take away your Fortnite. It matters to them, you know. Do your homework, eat your food, and then you can go play your Fortnite, you know. So just little teeny tiny things like that, being patient with them. I also think that, and it's probably going to make people a little, when I say this, I also think that we should have one child at a time, not back to back. And I'm sorry that if that makes anyone a little offended, but I think that try to master, which is not like they're a chess piece or something like that, forgive the phrasing, try to master raising this one child correctly before you add another one into the mix, you know? And maybe you're thinking that my child is lonely, they want friends. That's a great time to throw them in extracurricular activities. Sorry, I can't say that word. So that way they can be social and meet people that are their age. Their best friend shouldn't be their 19-year-old cousin if they're 5 years old. You know, they need to be able to socialize with people their age. What else? What else did I want to say? Incentives matter when it comes to the child. Don't treat them like this little mushy thing. And it's like, I also saw this recently, and I really just want to say this. This mom just yelled at her child, and she hit him in the back of the head, and his head hit the floor. You don't know what that's going to do to their brain later on in life, because you weren't patient enough to be like, we don't do that. Why don't we do that? Because blank, you know? Okay, that's it-ish, I think. One last, I I think that we know the difference between a good parent and a bad parent. We know the difference between a parent who just is having a really shitty day and they just lost her temper this one time. And my mom lost her temper that one time. Well, those 2 times, you know, that doesn't necessarily make her a bad parent. A good parent is someone who sees their action and corrects it. And I think that I just want to end with this part. I know that depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain. That's been proven. But I also think that for a lot of us, our parents fucked us up. And I don't want to make it in a kind of blaming kind of way. I don't want us to point the fingers of the millennials versus baby boomers. I don't want to do that. I just want to say that a lot of us are dealing with trauma that we're refusing to acknowledge. I'm going to say that again. A lot of us are dealing with trauma that we are refusing to acknowledge because we don't want to hurt our parents' feelings. Because they did the best that they could. They did. And out of nowhere, the internet was thrust at us. And I think instead of sitting back and blaming our parents for everything, we should sit back and say that, okay, I identified the problem. I know what the problem is. How can I progress? How can I move forward? Because we can't change the past. We can't change what's happened to us. But now we can take charge back of our lives and being like, I'm going to be a better person because of what happened to me. You see, I was at the dirt, but I'm going to build up from there. And if you don't know me, if you don't follow me, I'm all about personal accountability, self-awareness, personal responsibility. You cannot change what's happened to you. And I'm sorry that what's happened to you did. But I hope that, that was really high. I hope that you don't use it to pull you back. If anything, I hope you use it as a bow and arrow, and I hope that you use it to pull you forward. And there's nothing wrong with taking time away from your parents. I text my mom every day, but I could never live in her house again. Not because of that one isolated incident. It's a bunch of other things. It's a bunch of other things, but it's okay to take a step back from your family and being like, you're not good for my mental right now. I'm going to love you. I'm going to love you via text message or phone call. I'm going to love you on Christmas. I'm going to love you on birthdays. But like, I don't need to spend every day with you because it's not good for me right now. Maybe sometime in the future, but yeah. Okay, that's it. Fuck 30-minute video. Fuck me. Thank you for viewing. Thank you. I hope this helps someone. It may not help everyone, but my goal is 1 person a day. Thank you for staying till the end if you did. Thank you. Thank you for existing. Keep existing. Keep loving. Keep making love louder because it really fucking matters. Bye.